Welcome back to Wedding Mayhem, your wedding channel for all things wedding. And look who I've got with me. We've got Lizzie from Bougie Music.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I feel that we're living together at the moment.
We're spending a lot of time together. I feel like I need to move into this place.
This is my 6th episode this week.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, actually, no, 7th, because I was on somebody else's podcast just before this one.
How are you doing that?
I don't know.
What are you charged by? Honey. You're charged by honey. She's just downing bottles of honey in the back. She needs sugar.
I literally was this morning, and John's like, he said, "Are you all right?" And I was like, "Yeah. I'm ready."
yes, I'm fine.
Because this is not just my job.
Yeah.
This is a bolt on to my wedding boutique.
Yeah.
So that's suddenly gone crazy because we're now in panic mode. So as we're recording this is coming. Where are we? November. Where are we? We're coming towards the end of November.
Yes,
we're in the
we
last
are.
week of November.
26th or 27th?
Yeah, it must be. And suddenly everybody's gone, shit, I need to order my wedding dresses because the July and August and September weddings are because the factories will start closing down. So we're in like mad moment at the moment where they're running in.
And you've got all that going on and this.
Yeah, it's quite good because they're coming in going, I don't need to try anything else on. I just need to retry that. Yeah, that's saying I'll do it.
Okay,
So they're quick appointments.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's full on.
But it's full on.
You'll collapse at the weekend.
Yeah.
But that's fine.
And I've got a Christmas charity thing that I'm doing tomorrow.
Oh, that's exciting.
It is exciting. It's one of our neighbours every year. Her mum makes these massive big wreaths, and they're fantastic. She comes up from Cornwall every year, but she's got local suppliers that are coming in and selling their wares and raising money for charity. So I'll get to raise money for my charity, which is Children with Cancer. So I'm taking all my candles and all the Christmas boxes and stuff like that.
Amazing.
So it's a different hat for tomorrow.
Yes. No, because you needed more things in your diary.
Absolutely,
yeah, you needed more
absolutely.
pressure.
So we've been packing boxes and jarring up honey and everything. My husband's like, "This is a weird life you lead."
But he loves it. He loves it. He loves the energy. So.
What are you up to?
Well, we are now transferring, because Christmas is heading merrily on its way. We are heading into
merrily on its way.
We are now heading into Christmas party season. So big events, big Christmas parties, and every year it gets bigger and bigger. These companies put on very, very big shows, and we turn up and we make the party happen at Bougie.
How do you think they're getting bigger?
I just think people since COVID, it really started to escalate. I think people appreciate the workforce and they want to give back, and I think Christmas is a great time for senior people at the top to give back to the people who work really hard for them all year round. So I think that they are investing in celebrating them and giving them a good party. I also
think if you've got a business and you've got multiple offices, it's a good way of getting everybody together.
Oh yeah, and team camaraderie is really important in a business, as everyone knows.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really good.
But disasters can happen.
So
I'll be interested to find out if anything happens at
well,
those parties.
I will come back with the goss. But do you know what? When you work with Bougie Music, there are very few disasters.
Yeah. I had a girl message me after she saw your episode where you ad-libbed because the sound went.
Oh, yes.
That was it. Oh, no, that was the episode that you came in first off and did.
So. Oh, my gosh, this feels like
It wasn't probably a year ago, but they turned off the venue turned off the music.
Yes.
Because it hit a certain level.
Yeah, well, no, the sound limiter. The sound limiter, it cut everything out. So obviously it's the green, amber, red system, and then when it hits red and it hits too high a decibel, it cuts the music out, and then the band have to stop. Well, the band obviously will stop because they cut the music out, but
you didn't stop.
I don't stop. You can't unplug me.
Can't unplug your mouth.
Many people have tried. You cannot unplug me. So I would sing. I sing songs that people know the words to keep the energy going, because that's out of our control. If a venue has a sound limiter, unfortunately, we just have to work with it. And do our best. But yeah, it is fun. It actually adds a little bit more excitement into the night to think,
is it going to turn off? Is that the same for like parties?
Yeah, same. Yeah. So different venues. I think it tends to be in areas that, if you've got most of these estates where weddings take place, these barns and things like that, they can be in quite affluent areas that are in very well-to-do places with people who have a lot of large houses nearby, or they've got Airbnbs nearby or something, and they're just disturbing the guests. And
Yeah.
I think so they put in these measures with the venue to make sure they don't have loud music going on into the early hours.
And it's something for you guys to think about when you are booking a venue or anywhere getting married.
100%.
Check with your local council, because we're getting quite a lot of marquee weddings.
Yes.
That don't have sound limitators in them, but there might be a council restriction.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's just that, I mean, there's so much to think about when you're planning a wedding, but I would say that key thing when it comes to music is to check with your venue about the decibel limit, because you really want to make sure that if you do want to have a big party with lots of loud music going on into very early hours, you want to make sure you can. So,
or book you. It doesn't matter if the music goes off.
And I'll just keep going.
Right, on that note, we need to introduce our guest. We have got Justine Burton from Berties Photography. Hello.
Hi.
You were really scared when you came in. It's like, oh my God, I've never done any of this. But you're a pro. You've been doing this a long time. So there's nothing to be scared. But the boot's on the other foot now, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So how did you get into photography? What were you doing before?
Before I've done lots of different jobs over the years, but the one just before, I was hand making pictures on Not on the High Street.
Right.
Right in the early days of Not on the High Street. So I'd basically, my son wasn't sleeping very well, and I used to talk about things before he went to sleep to try and imagine that he would jump into a picture and be able to help his imagination to turn his mind off the fact that he couldn't sleep.
So it's like a story.
Yeah, like a story.
Yeah.
So, and there wasn't really, in those days, obviously now it seems ridiculous to say because there's so much homeware and amazing stuff that you can get hold of. But there wasn't much then. So for boys particularly. So I started making some pictures, and it really was sort of based on initials at the beginning and little scenes. So he was really, as a boy, into digger, dumper trucks, you know, that typical thing. And I came up with this design using kind of miniatures like micro machines, which are sort of miniature cars, miniature diggers and little people. And I would sort of make a road with gravel or like a normal road, and have people digging into it and things as the letter. And so, and I applied to Not on the High Street and started selling those. But it was really hard. I loved doing it, but it was like really hard with the glue because I stick my fingers together.
Been there, done that.
In the house, I would be, in the sort of holidays, I'd be like, oh, could you just sit and watch CBeebies while I just do this really intricate thing? And it wasn't really working out. And anyway, I was photographing a lot, and I actually, as part of Not on the High Street, had gone for a day with the two owners, and they were sort of showing you how you could photograph your products, particularly with glass, because it's quite hard to do without getting reflections and things, and how important it was to place it in a particular scene. And I had been photographing just because I had a camera, going to mum and baby groups with my friends and taking photos then, and people would be asking me to, would you come and do my family photo shoot or my wedding? And I'd be like, no, don't be ridiculous, just because I've got a good camera, I don't know what I'm doing really. Anyways, but I found it wasn't really working with the kids, and so I started to think about moving into it. So I moved into photography at that point. And
what made you decide that I'm going to take photographs and buy a camera? Because obviously your camera sounds like it was a good camera.
It was a good camera. Actually, my husband had won it in this weird auction.
Really?
Yeah, and it was just as they changed over.
What kind of weird auction was
I can't
this?
remember. It's when you bid. It was the auctions years ago. There were these auctions that came up that you would all bid online, and you would then get if your bid had won.
Was it like a mystery box or something?
Yeah, it was kind of like that. But
okay.
he did know he was bidding. I think he was trying to bid for an iPad or something at the time, and he got the camera instead. I can't really remember. It was really weird.
That's amazing.
And it was a DSLR. And that was when they'd first come out.
Yeah.
So I'd been using film up to that point, and it coincided with having children.
But how did you get to nab it?
Well, he didn't really want it, and I did when I was growing up. I went at school and stuff. Like if we had like a school disco or something, I'd take photos, and when we were at uni as well, I'd do some photos and stuff. So I've always had not in-depth knowledge. I wasn't a darkroom person or anything. Can't pretend to sort of be old school like that. But I did enjoy doing it, and the effects and seeing where the light was and everything else then. So
well, you're obviously a creative person, because if you've come up with the idea to do the whole Not on the High Street thing, and then you've evolved that into doing, you know, the more camera side of things. Have you always been a creative person?
Yeah, I think so. I've always really enjoyed doing sort of arts and crafts and, you know, things like that. I really like doing things like that. So I did art, GCSE.
Did you?
And I did a drama degree. So I just, I like
Oh, here we go.
Yes.
Right, okay. See, it's coming out
It's all
now,
coming
you
out,
know.
creative within. And that's amazing.
But I get it, because it's, you know, when you're doing like arts and crafts, it doesn't feel like a proper job, or it's not perceived to be a proper job. And taking photographs of just people is not perceived to be.
And they are perceived to be sort of hobby things. I mean,
yeah.
as you know, as you can see from when you go to weddings and things like that, not everyone necessarily, you know, wants a photographer there all day because they don't think they need one. Or
until after the wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
I was one of those people, and I'm in the industry.
Really?
Yeah, you know, because for me.
Which wedding?
Oh, you did go there. Actually, the middle one slipped a bit then.
This might be my time.
The last one, the third
The last,
one.
yes.
The third one.
And you regret not having a photographer?
Well, I didn't have one at the first one because that was Gretna Green.
Right.
The second one we did because we had somebody in I was working in events and promotions and marketing. And so we did. So it was just somebody from work. And they were great photos and that. And then the third one, I was like, it was supposed to be low key,
yes,
because it's third one, and you can't make a big
Song and
thing
dance,
out of it, and we're old, and it was just and it was all those things that people roadblock in, and then it did get bigger and bigger, and I thought, oh, I've got people in the industry. They'll take photos, and we actually did put a thing out saying, "Oh, can you take photos?" Because I had a photographer, but I didn't have anybody to video it, and that was my biggest regret, really, because everybody was like, taking videos, and then they got emotional, so the phone went down, and it's like, so I got lots of laps and lots of zips in places I didn't want to see and stuff, and and buttons and God knows what else, and floors, and so it was afterwards. I'm like, oh, I wish I'd had that videoed.
Do you not have photos generally in your house though? Like of your,
Yeah.
Yeah. So why wouldn't you want a memory of that day?
Yeah,
like,
I know.
I'm just interested.
Right,
like,
okay. I'll have to do it again.
Well, now you've got a photographer.
And it is that regret afterwards. And if you could, anything in life, if we could step back in time and have a word with our younger self.
Yes.
Hindsight is a great thing, right? So,
yes. And that is that's how I approach weddings, is trying to be that person to try and avoid any of those kind of pitfalls of things that you might obviously have to get to see the bride though, to be able to say that. But I will always say, I'll go through the whole wedding day. My whole approach to wedding day is to because you don't know until you've done it. Even if you've done it 3 times, you don't know what what will happen on the day necessarily.
And this is it. It's what will happen on the day. You can plan as much as you want, but it will not be pitch perfect.
No.
There will be elements in there because you're dealing with people.
Yeah, totally.
And the people.
It's a bit like labour, isn't it? You can plan how the labour's going to go to some degree, but they always say just like keep it in your mind that it might not go to plan with your birthing plan.
You're winging it at the end.
They're winging it. You just
get to the end. You just want to get to
hell on both of those. I didn't know that you could have a plan, really. But...
Right, okay. So when you're at a wedding, do you get just a feel for how you're going to take the shots, or do you have in-depth conversations with your couples beforehand?
Oh, I always have an in-depth conversation because I really want to get to know them anyway, because I think it's really important that you're not just churning out a particular way. Like if people would ask me my style, I can't really say because it's based on the couple.
Right,
obviously. I mean, I've done lots of training over the years, so I know about light and giving direction to stand and look nice and everything else, because I think that's really important when you spent lots of money on your hair and makeup and your dress and everything else. So, but I always ideally, I'd meet my couple a year, often. I mean, it's changed a bit at the moment in the industry, but if I can meet them a year in advance in the same season that they're getting married, and I meet them at the venue
How
as well.
important is that, the same season? How important is that the same season?
It's not so much that it's devastating if you can't make it, because obviously at the moment weddings are being booked sort of at a shorter timeline. Yeah, so
Tell me about it.
it's not too bad, but I do really love it because one of my main things, I think, I over the years I've had people come up to me at weddings all the time saying, "Oh, I didn't like my wedding photographer," or "My friend's wedding photographer was awful," or they always have lots of stories, and I'm basically took those all on, sort of trying not to be that person, because it's one day and it goes so quickly and you can't redo it, can you? And so one of the things was that feeling disorientated on your wedding day. It's like really awful. Like there's so much going on and it goes so quickly that you want to know kind of what's happening. And I found one of the easiest ways to do that for both of us actually is to meet at the venue in the season that you're getting married, if possible. And then
lighting's different, I suppose.
The lighting's different, and it's just in the trees. Like I know when I go for a dog walk, sort of on my own, and I've been walking in the winter, and then suddenly everything, I haven't been there for a while, and it comes up. It's quite disorientating, isn't it? I can easily get lost. And things do look different. Shade, where what a backdrop would be looks very different. So I like to meet them, and then while we're there, I spend some time getting to know them and talking to them about their day. But the other thing I do is walk through their day. So if they're also getting married at the venue, for example, we'll go right through the day from the service through when they come out of the wedding, are we going to do, then we get to discuss those things that you can't do over, and you think, oh, I wish I hadn't done that then. So like are you going straight into drinks? Are you going straight into confetti? Are you what? So we go through the day walking around the venue, and sometimes the couple have chosen the venue because they might have seen photos there, there's a lake over there, we really want to go to that lake, and so we go to that lake, and it shows them how much time it takes to go to that lake.
Timing,
because it can take sort of like 20 minutes in the golf cart or whatever to get over there, take the photos and come back again. And it's really important to me also that you're not rushed when you're having your photographs taken, because I'm I like to do things as naturally as possible.
It's shown in the expression, won't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
And if they're standing going, right, oh my God, we've got this, we've got that.
Yes. So I don't want any of those things going. That's why the whole day I do so much planning, but it starts right there with the meet up before the wedding. And I want them to feel as relaxed as possible, so those things don't need to be going through their mind at all. And they know that we've got time. I mean, obviously things do overrun and everything else, but they know because I do an itinerary before the wedding as well, with a blow-by-blow of fitting in those photos that they wanted and everything as well. So, and that's a whole month before the wedding, so they can see what's going on, like how the wedding day is going to look, and then they can make some changes. So
they can also give that to their wedding planner or coordinator, so they've got then their time slots, because there's nothing worse. Everybody's got their itinerary, and none of them marry out together.
Absolutely. If there is one, I've done lots of weddings where there isn't. There's just the event coordinator at the hotel. But if there's a wedding coordinator,
that's their timeline as well.
Yes,
not even
absolutely, absolutely. So I get the couple to fill in a questionnaire with all the timelines that the venue has given them. They know if they're getting married in a church or registry office. We sort of then can work out the timings of how long everything takes to get there and everything else. So we can work out how many photos we can get done in those places as well. And then I put together that plan and give it a month before, so that then they can look to see. And one time it worked really well. I mean, it's worked really well for all of them, but one particular time I always think about was the fact that they'd hired a string quartet to have during. So often the photos almost always, if the group ones, take place between obviously the service and the wedding breakfast, which is usually on average about an hour and a half to 2 hours. Right. If it's it's a venue that have sort of turned those sorts of things over, and
during the reception drink. Yeah,
the reception drink. So you've got that time, and they'd hired a string quartet to be playing in the gazebo, and we were having the photographs were being taken in a different area because of the light and the backdrop and everything else. And so they worked out, because they got this itinerary early, that they'd miss it, and they'd spent a couple of £1,000 on this amazing,
second wedding. I missed again something similar to that, because we were off doing photos, and I could hear it, but I wasn't in the garden watching it, and that was a lot of money.
That happened at my wedding too. We were taking the group photos, and the jazz band were playing, and obviously my husband and I are both musicians, and we run a live music agency, and we put together like a super band, and I could hear them playing, and we were stood there, and in the photos, my face in the photos is just like, I just want to get to see the band.
And you'll always remember, that's my main thing, is it doesn't matter how good I am as a photographer, like the light, your makeup, your everything. You will always remember how you felt in the moment that the photograph was taken. And I remember from my own experience years ago of having a studio photo shoot, and I was so stressed because we bought the dog and the toddlers, and it was a white, shiny surface.
Oh no!
And the dog was like flying around because he was just this big black Labrador, and the kids were like screaming and going mental. And I was so obsessed. And the photographer was very good, smile, give them a tickle and all of that. But who
are you tickling?
Yeah, the kid, not the dog. He was mad enough. He was. And the photos were beautiful, but I don't have it up at the moment because I remember. I look at that photo and I see my face, and I remember it brings back that memory.
Yeah. And only you see that.
Yes, but and people go, "It's lovely."
Yeah.
But you know how you felt, and therefore you'll never. And that's the same across all the photography that I do.
Well, every picture tells a story.
Yes, it does,
and
that's what I basically sort of unpack what made a good photo, basically what made us like a photo. And you're getting ready to go out, and you think, I look all right, I look good. And then someone takes a photograph of you, and you think, I'm a monster. It's not how I thought I looked. I look so good. Or
I did exactly the same thing in the car. I thought, oh my God, your hair looks great today.
It does look great today.
I got in here and I had Grinch hair. It was up. This was up here, and but like you said, when I was in better light and everything, I was like, oh my God, So,
and that's the thing is, but even then, it's about.
And I'm wearing green, yeah.
But sometimes you'll get a really lovely photo, and you'll think, what was it? And lighting and everything else, but also how you're feeling. So I basically wanted to try and replicate that in photo shoots, which is quite difficult because it's a very unnatural moment, but it's about feeling good in that moment, feeling as natural as possible. So on the actual day of the wedding as well, I do a lot towards, part of that's the meeting, so they feel more relaxed with me and everything else, and they know where we're going. They're not going, oh, why are we having... where are we going? Where are we going? Or why are we going? What's happening now?
Yeah.
Why are we having another group shot? And it's like, well, they know all that before they get to because they've already decided that. It's not like they've handed me 25 group shots in the day and we're trying to squeeze them in before they have their meal.
We didn't have that meeting before our wedding. I think that would have been really good just to have a chat about because your time on your day, everything is, if you think about how much every minute on your wedding day is costing you, or do you know what I mean? You want to experience as much of it as possible and not be away from the guests for ages. And you can probably feel an energy sometimes when you have couples there on the day. Maybe they just want to get back a little bit to the party. But we did not have an outline with our photographer.
I didn't have one either with Hayley, but Hayley knows me so well.
There you go.
And I think because I felt so relaxed and so just like, you just tell me where I needed to be. So next minute there'll be like a right, come with me, sort of thing. And I was calm. My husband wasn't. Yeah. So we got a drink until it was over with, to the I-dos and stuff like that. And then that was like, but I was just thinking that is it probably worth having a little piece of paper in somebody's pocket so they can quickly look at it?
So I carry the itinerary. So I do the blow by blow. They decide. I carry this little 4x6 sort of cards with me that has it all, so they don't have to think about it at all.
Okay.
I always go to a wedding and they'll say, oh, don't worry, I'll get my brother to do get the groups. I don't actually, it never works out really, bless them, because they're there having a brilliant time. It's like all their family, a lot of their friends are there as well. And so I find it a lot easier that I've got to know everyone as much as possible. So I carry that with me. I tell them I'm carrying it with me. They can print it out as well and give it to their sort of, you know, bridal party and stuff if they want. And I've had it displayed before, which I wish I'd known actually, because it didn't look that great. But some actually displayed it on the day. So it was like, you know, a rundown of what was happening and everything.
Because if they're off up in a field or somewhere and they're not part of the wedding, it'd be quite handy for somebody to go, I know where they are.
Yeah, exactly.
Slow things down.
And ideally, we're only going to be in that field far away at that time, because that's what the couple wants to do. And they're told that they're able to tell, you know, convey that to their sort of guests and stuff, that in that moment you guys are free to, like, there's food and drink, we'll be back in, you know, this amount of time. And
that group shot must be absolute carnage for you. Like,
No, because she has blown my mind.
Oh, really?
Literally, she has Justine has an I've never heard of this before, about how you get to know the other people, the guests and everything.
Oh,
Come on, sit back, have a cake.
Okay, so I basically, along with the chat that I have before the pre-wedding meeting that I have with them, I get to ask them who the people that they are, who's coming, why they're coming. You know, why have you got that person as your best person, your best man, your chief bridesmaid, whatever. So, and I make those notes there and then to try and work out who belongs to who, the connection, and why they're important, because that kind of starts to build up, because I'm visualising, that's how I see the wedding day. And because we've walked around the venue, I'm seeing all those bits as well. And then I ask them also in the questionnaire to go through, when they're saying what the group shots are, who I'm shooting, if they can tell me a little bit about those people as well. And then on the actual day, so on the morning of the wedding, I put together a mind map of the couple.
Wait.
And so we've got partner 1, partner 2. And around that, I will put who the important people are. So I always do, if there's the parents coming, I'll put them. If the grandparents as well, I'll just put them up there. If the siblings are there, if the siblings have got kids, if they're involved in the wedding as well, like, you know, linking it all together. If the couple have got a kid as well, I'll put that in the middle so I know where they come in. And then, and the same on the other side of partner 2 as well. Sometimes they link together because, like, you know, the best man and the blended families as well. It's really useful to know that as well. But also, you know, one of the comments I often had was, the photographer didn't get a photo with me and my godmum, or they didn't get this and that. And so, and it's gutting, because I say, did they know? And that's part of the reason for the meeting as well, and the questionnaire, to sort of make sure I've got all that information. So if there's like a VIP, a person that they've grown up with, like say there was one the other day who they'd grown up to next door, and the bride's friend was her chief bridesmaid, and then the parents were best friends and all of that. So I write all that down and I learn their names, their first names, because I think one of the biggest things about wedding is it's a private, intimate affair.
Yeah.
Your nearest and dearest are there, the people that really matter. And photographer, we're the only people that are there the longest, the whole day with the couple. And so it's really important that you fit in with everybody. And a lot of people kind of feel quite anxious about photographers and what they're going to do, like they're going to harm them. They often even recoil, when they're doing the photos, sort of, and that creates like a really unattractive look. So what I'm trying to do is break down as much as possible that. So I learn the names and I call people by their name. So say mother of the bride. I wouldn't say, mother of the bride, can you come and stand? Right, we're doing a group shot with you. Get your husband, all of that. I will say, oh, Jane.
I'll be stuck.
Peter.
Which one?
Yeah.
Because they'll probably all be there. So
yeah. So I call them by their names, and that because I'm there. If I'm there from the morning, ideally, because that's the other thing I'd say as well. If you're nervous about having a photograph taken, don't condense it into just the group shots that you have a photographer, because that's really stressful. It's like the worst bit of the photography for you to have. And so I learn their names. So right from the morning, I go round and I look at sort of the bridesmaids, and I've already can see in my head the mind map that I've learnt, and can put that to those slots in my mind map, like who's who, which also really helps later on when I'm just shooting candid photos, so that I can go, oh, look, that's the next door neighbour and she's talking to the mum.
Yes.
That's an important photo.
Yes.
So I can sort of swing round and capture those bits. I can make the connections, because I think obviously that's one of the biggest things about the wedding and everything else is why these people are there, who they are to you.
It's incredible, isn't it?
I love that.
I've never heard of it.
No, it's
never.
It's and I totally see where you're coming from. It is such a personal day, and it's such you are an insight. You are seeing an insight into someone else's life who you don't know, and with all their personal friends. And like when we do weddings, I love to befriend, a bridesmaid or a groomsman or even all of them, because they can kind of have a little bit of banter, and then you're not disturbing the bride and groom so much, but you're also, should we get everyone dancing? Yeah, let's go. And we'll go into the crowds and we'll get everyone, all the brides and all the bridesmaids and all the groomsmen. Yeah. But just having, even if it's just a few key names and a few key people, is really important, isn't it?
I think so. And it means also, so I have the group shot list, but it also means that I can do, when there's sort of quiet time, sometimes there's quite a long time after the meal to the evening do at some venues, and so it means I can go up to the family and say, oh, because I've got to know them and I know their names and where they link in, I can do a load of mini group shots then as well. But when I'm doing the group shot as well, it's really useful to have done all of that, because I get people to stand nicely, so I can give them some confidence that I'm not going to do them harm. I'm going to take a nice photograph of them, and also call them by their names.
Because everybody hates their photographs.
Yeah, they do. They absolutely do.
And then they go into rigid mode. It's like,
yes, exactly.
It's a camera, not a weapon.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I am shooting people though. So.
There she is.
It's always there.
And so when I'm doing the group shots, I also, from the questionnaire, because I know who I'm photographing, I'm able to use some of the things that they've said about them to make it relevant to the day and the couple and them. So when people are laughing in their photographs, a lot of my group shots have people laughing, and I shoot through those things, those emotions as I speak. Hopefully no crying. There's not usually crying at the weddings I take, but I'm photographing them as I've said something to them that sort of prompts a laugh or whatever, and it's relevant. And I shoot through those photographs so that I can get the best version of them as their face relaxes and their bodies relax and everything else.
What's in the locker then to make people relax?
I was about to ask.
Was it?
It depends.
We want to know.
It's really difficult
Go on,
to say
empty
now,
your locker.
I can't give all my specials.
Come on, me and Lizzie just got married.
we just got married.
Yeah.
Well, it depends. So I would
I'm the
talk
awkward one.
about. So in terms of prompts and everything else of what I'd ask you about, it could be anything. So it would be based on what I know about your work life, what you like doing together.
Yeah, okay.
I would talk about, perhaps something they've said to me, like they've had their first date and he said something wrong, or
yes.
And we would talk about. I'm trying to think of the things I could say.
You probably.
I don't want to, because part of it is that it's a surprise.
It's a surprise
when I say it to them, and so I have a couple of key things that I say that are relevant, and it means for me the main point being is, when they look back at those photographs, I haven't told them, okay, everyone laugh, and that's fine.
Yeah.
I know that really does prompt to laugh.
Yeah.
Photographers do that. But I like for them to actually be laughing, so that, again, going back to that point, that you remember how you felt. So I don't want them to think, oh, yeah, that was when I was fake laughing because we had to look like that for the photos.
Yeah.
I want them to remember what a great day they were having at their friend's wedding or their own wedding, obviously, and that they were enjoying themselves and that it was relevant. They were talking about, the hen party. I've said something about what happened there, or,
It's amazing when you see their posture drop, though, from intense to, and then you say something and then they kind of go, and they look at each other, and that's a shot.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, that's perfect. That's amazing.
Have you had any secrets?
Secrets?
You've got out of them.
Spill the tea.
No,
like we're talking about hen parties.
So. Well, no, not really. No, I won't.
She ain't gonna tell us.
I'm not going to tell you anything.
She does.
Yeah, I know. I think so. No, not really.
That's the magic of what you do, though.
Yeah.
You take it in, and you don't. You just use it to fuel the story that you're going to tell through pictures.
Yeah, exactly. So that's
what things. What things do you come against that disrupts your plan? Because obviously you've got your itinerary. What can interfere with that?
Oh gosh. What does interfere? Oh,
Venues?
anything.
Venues. Certain
Well,
venues?
so I try and liaise as much as possible with all the suppliers before we get there.
That's
you know.
good.
Right.
That's important, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so,
Yeah.
because you know, like all the people you've had on the show, everyone feels the same. They really want the couple to have a really lovely day.
Yeah.
We're all very passionate about it, and so there's no need to work against each other.
Yeah.
So timings, I guess, you know, sometimes obviously timings are the thing. So the hair and makeup could run over.
Yes.
And that, you know, that might just be because actually, you know, the bride's added a load of people into it that weren't there, or, you know, there's loads of different reasons and those things. So, but I think because I've got quite a good structure to the day, it allows for some things. I mean, obviously the weather, but again, when we're walking around
my
the
next
venue,
question, actually.
Oh yeah, tell
Tell us about the weather, because you can't plan it.
So with the weather, I do discuss it on the walk round.
Okay.
So we have a wet weather plan, because not all venues are made inside as nicely as the outside.
What is your plan?
Well, there's a couple of options that we discuss, and obviously down to what the couple want to do. One of the things, obviously, I've learned how to shoot in the rain anyway.
Yeah.
So I've trained. I train every year with photographers.
Yeah, this really also surprised when we had our chat. She puts some of the money that you make
about £1,000 a year
into training. She trains herself every year.
That's amazing, because I really do feel like, especially in the photography world, things are evolving quite a lot, and I do think with Instagram being so image based as well, and just keeping up with all of the trends and different styles, I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
Because you can get some really stunning pictures in the rain as well.
You can, and I think so. This is where I'm very much of the natural thing. So when I'm putting a couple together, I can shoot. You know, I've learnt about off-camera flash. I trained with a brilliant photographer, Chris Chambers, who's years ago was right across the press for sort of lying in puddles in a field to like get the reflection and the light, and that was absolutely fantastic. But and it doesn't matter where you are. You know, the venue could be like the travel lodge, and you can create not that they're not beautiful.
We're not sponsored by them, so that's fine. So if you don't want us to talk about you, come and sponsor us. Yeah.
Sorry. But the point being is, I've been in a car park and taken, you know, a photo of a couple in a rain standing under the umbrella.
You can turn shit into gold, basically.
But even when they're standing there, the main thing for me is when they're looking at each other, I'm not saying, look at each other lovingly. We're again still talking about them and about, you know, everything, so that it keeps that natural as much as possible, because obviously when you're posing in the rain, that can be, you know, a little bit weird and awkward. And it's so I always set it up often with a guest, a very nice guest or venue staff will come out, and I put down a plastic sheet. And
so do you have all these things in your car?
I carry all this stuff. Yeah, absolutely. I am like
Mary
I mean, that's someone said that before. Like, and here's my lamp. But I do look a bit like one of those anyway on a day-to-day basis. I have a harness.
Lara Croft.
Not the cool harness that those lovely leather ones that the gorgeous photographers wear, but mine's like a proper, like, you know, like a baby carrier. Because it really helps my back. And then they slot in here. I've got bags as well.
Amazing.
And I basically have everything with me. But I do look a bit like one of the, you know, the street entertainers with the sort of
the little monkey.
You're waiting for the garden.
Oh, I love Covent Garden. That's Christmas.
That's Christmas.
Yeah. That is Christmas. But yeah, so I like Lara Croft better though. That's good. Someone called me John Wayne.
John Wayne.
I was like,
who called you John Wayne?
Lara Croft. I'll take that. Thank you. But yes, so have all that. So the weather for that, I say and on the questionnaire it does say, are you happy to go outside if it's raining?
Because I do think, and I find that brides are very blinkered to weather. What do you mean it's going to rain? There's no chance. This is my wedding day. What's
They
going to rain?
almost feel like you're setting a bad omen if you start to say, if it rains, they go, shh. And you're like, I'm not, believe it or not, I'm not actually in control of the weather.
But then they're picking up their dresses and they're going, it's going to rain. and they're devastated. So I think if you plan for it.
I think so. And I find I've only had 3 rainy weddings, like really rainy weddings.
Wow.
Over 12 years.
Right, so if you don't want rain on your wedding, book this lady.
My groom has left that. Thank you for your magic umbrellas, because I've said because if you plan, and then if it does rain, it's not so bad. Generally in the UK, apart from Saturday where I was shooting an event and I was out in the rain all day and it really didn't stop. But in my experience of wedding days, there's always a break in the weather that you can go out. But that will mean still walking out and potentially So I take this plastic sheet.
Right.
And girls, lift up your dress.
Take your
from A
bridesmaids
to
with you.
bed. A to B.
Absolutely. Although I did have a bride once. I always use this as an example because people worry about it. I did have a bride who we were going for the photos in a golf cart, and her husband were in one golf cart and I was in another with one of the venue staff driving me, and he ran over her dress. She forgot to pull it in and ran over. I know, I can imagine the horror for you. It's okay.
I think it's probably one I've cleaned.
But that's the thing is, I always use this as an example. That's like the worst thing, like tyre tracks over your
can't
wedding
plan
dress. And she sent it off to be cleaned and it came back absolutely fine. So like the worst case, I am a believer kind of looking at the bottom line, like what's the worst that can happen? Okay, for that person raining, let's plan and see what happens. And so also for the inside, it gives them an opportunity. For example, a lot of DJs and obviously the venue dressers have got backdrops. And so there's the ones with the voiles and the lights, and that can look really lovely. So simple and doesn't cost very much at all. And I know a lot of like some of the DJs I work with are really happy to come and set up early, even if they can, or if it's last minute and go in that
good
week.
Supplier wants to make that work, because if that couple have had a fantastic day, the review is for everybody. It's not just
exactly. So that's the other thing, is it gives them the opportunity to sort of find somewhere, maybe hire another room in the venue, just so that we can do all the group shots there.
What's your top tip for cold? Keeping the bride warm. Because there's nothing worse. No matter how we're a bit chilly in here, but it's nothing worse of like shivering and then going.
I know, awful. Really, yes, and you can't.
It's in when it's in your bones.
And again, it's how you feel, isn't it? So you remember that you were freezing. So I carry the rechargeable heat packs with me.
Knew you'd have something.
During the winter months, so that they can warm up.
They just slip it down the dress.
They hold you in the hand.
You can hold it in the hands.
Stick it.
See what it is. 3-degree burns off to hospital we go.
They get that hot today?
They're quite hot.
My gosh. That would have been something that went wrong on my wedding day. My gosh.
I thought we were supposed to eat it.
That does sound like something I do.
We talk about the clothes and stuff and what's possible. So obviously the dress is long. And you can hide quite a bit.
Listen,
that.
you're getting married in cold weather. Long johns.
Have you seen the top? I'm thinking about buying these because I actually wear thermal tights now. They're under these trousers because I get cold. I know. So, but I've just seen these tights that are skin coloured, but they're fleece lined.
Inside, yeah.
They look lovely.
Yeah, that is a top tip.
I'm going to Hamburg with a pair of they're like leggings. I've got mine. I like leggings.
I don't know whether I've got to the thermal era of my life yet.
But you just don't need to tell people on national TV. They are fantastic. So I always say to my girls, you get them, because if you've got a long dress, nobody's going to see them.
No, I mean, I even had one. We had snow. It's the only snow wedding I've had. But we went outside and she had got her shoes. This is probably horrifying to you as well, because obviously your dress is made to a certain length. But she wore her Uggs.
Yeah, I had
and so all the photos outside in the sno are she's sitting toasty with her Uggs. Yeah,
one of my stylists, Kate, who got married, and it was a February 14th wedding, and we had unexpected snow. It's at Great Foster's, and it was like, and I remember her freaking out. But we at the time sold opal colour Wellingtons that had just married on them, and so they they don't sell them anymore, but I think if you could have that,
Absolutely,
and have just married on them and stuff like that with some socks in it that you can traipse over, and then you can always slip out of them and put.
Yeah, I just saw some cute shrugs the other day as well, shrug cardigans, and it's embroidered on the back with just married or finally.
I love the denim jacket.
Yes,
it's very cool. So there are ways of doing it, isn't it? But
yeah.
I think we're
So and trying to also, in terms of the plan, not keeping them out too long.
Yeah,
so, I think that's one of the main things. Obviously, the guys are usually absolutely sweltering the whole day and whatever they're wearing.
It's not about them.
What's the easiest weather to shoot in? Because in terms of light, I can imagine if you're shooting in snow, you've still got the reflection of the snow, which is light, and then you've got dark grey clouds in the rain and bright sunshine and winter sun. What is the most difficult thing?
Ideally, a little cloud cover is good. A warm-ish day so that people can, the gas in their outfits and everything else. And then a bit of cloud cover because it's sort of like a softbox, we'd call it, when the cloud goes over the sun, just so that people aren't squinting. So obviously, again, when I'm planning the shoot, like when I'm planning where we're going to take the photographs, I also have this little app on my phone that tells you where the sun's going to be. Like you literally hold it up to the sky and it says, sun's going to be there, sunset's going to sit over there, which is really useful on the thing. So you can say, they might say, I want to have my photograph here, with maybe they've got an amazing huge sort of steps and stuff of the venue, and I say, okay, well, if we do the group shot at that time, you will all be, if it's sunny, you're all like bright, shiny, squinting at the sun, sweating. So if we really want that photograph there, we're better off doing that at a different time of the day. So that, again, you can sort of plan for things like that. But I do generally shoot for, as I sort of like learnt on all my training, backdrop, bit of shade. So it might change if it is bright sunlight. I might go, right, we need to go under these trees, which is really flattering anyway. It's a really flattering light. So
actually leads me on to my next question, and it's how do you deal with what they want to what in reality is you're able to do?
So it's much
again,
of that.
It's the social media. It's like, I've seen this and I want to do that.
Yeah, I've heard of other photographers getting, images sent through from Pinterest that are sort of, shot in Barbados and they're getting married in Weybridge Registry Office or something. So it's I find I'm really lucky, I think, or perhaps is what I put out there in terms of I don't actually put loads on my social media, but I think the conversation that I have with them and the photographs I show. So if I've shot at the venue as well, when we're having the chat, we go through loads of pictures and I show them what I've shot and why I've shot it, and even including like a bride sort of sitting down in the gazebo, sort of, like this with her dress splayed out. And she was that because she was in agonising pain due to her shoes hurting her. So I talk about all of those things beforehand. So the expectation, and I'll point out areas and say, okay, I don't shoot there because the lines going through it, you've got, UPVC windows there, you've got wood there, you've got, they are going to cross through. And it's one of those things when you look at a photo and you think it's not quite right, this is what we're saying, whether you like a photo or not, when you're out, is also to do with the backdrop as well. So I talk about all of that, and I talk about, what the weather's going to be like and the light and everything else. So in the end of the day, I want to do what they want. Yeah. So I'm just telling them all that information. If they still decide that's what they want, then that's what I'll do. But at least they know.
You've disclaimed it a little bit and said, right, if that photograph doesn't come through, right, that's because I did tell you.
I mean, it will. You'll be in focus and and you'll look nice and you'll be having a nice time. But there'll be things that will be odd about the photograph that will jar. So and that's fine. And it really is just, I guess, trying to. I'm lucky because I think all my couples do trust me, and the fact that I do train and I haven't just got rocked up with a camera. I'm qualified with the Guild of Photographers. That's what I first did when I changed. Right. When I decided to sort of go.
Isn't
everybody? No, not at all.
Is it not a requirement?
And there are a lot of people who've been shooting a lot longer than me. Don't get me wrong. You don't have to be qualified to be a wedding photographer at all. I felt that I needed that kind of recognition and that I'd gone through a process.
Yes.
Rather than just, right, this is what I'm going to do today.
Yeah, well, I suppose it gives you more confidence, doesn't it?
It does,
suppose,
absolutely. That's exactly
people think they are photographers these days with camera phones and things like that, and taking, everyone thinks that they have that ability. I think especially because the cameras these days are so good, and you can just put it on portrait mode and be like, oh, look, I'm a photographer.
I love showing that at weddings for couples though, like people are trying to take photos, well, if you just do that and that, and they're like, wow, that's amazing.
Can I ask, what do you think about people who have their phones out whilst you're trying to take photos?
It's difficult, isn't it? On the whole, I don't mind it, because they're there, they're the friends and the family, they're there, and they're so into the day, and of course they want to capture it. So I don't mind it from that perspective at all. I think if it can be frustrating if they get in the way, like Great Aunt Joan decides to step in the middle of the aisle just as the couple are walking down, you're like, oh, gutted. That's there. But again, for me, that is what's happened on the day.
Yeah.
And
so that's part of
next year.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not, and you say that, but
no,
you're so right.
Yeah.
And that for me, so
yeah.
I think the only sadness I have about phones, and it's even my own sadness as well, is that you don't print the pictures out. Like, you don't people are just taking. And that's why actually I started originally, when I started, it was the memory sticks, I think. Oh no, it was disc. It was still little discs I was giving out to people.
They're now hanging on my allotment to keep the birds away.
Yeah. See, they've still got a use.
And in my car. My car's only got a CD player.
Oh, okay. So you're still well done. Yeah.
Still use. So hand them to me after you've hung them out for the birds.
I have got black copies of Westlife if you want them.
Oh yes, please.
ABC.
Genuinely would love that.
Amazing that they're not scratched with
Oh, they probably are. Yeah. What is the most common must-have shots that you get asked by couples?
Gosh, I haven't really thought about that. I think often it involves their family, like their mum.
Yeah. Memories again, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it is. That's the thing is, I love reportage, natural photography.
Yeah.
But I think it's really that moment, that group of people is, and as I say, as long as it's not awkward and you're feeling...
You're never ever going to get all your family and friends in one place at one time, ever. So to have that captured in
I think so. And I think my own mum passed away when I was a child, so I didn't have my mum at my wedding. So, and I know also I've had, unfortunately, I've had, a number of couples whose family, the actual one of the couple have passed away. So, for me, photographs are so important to, capture those moments. So it's
such a responsibility for you, like in terms of making sure that you capture those moments, like you were saying. And I do think, people don't print those pictures. It's only after I think my dad actually passed away that I did print the pictures of him at the wedding. And I think, yep, you're right. People do store them on their phones and on their computers, don't they?
And they can get lost. I mean, we've just seen the news for Richard Branson's wife has just passed away. But the photographs that came from the family, in tribute were, the kids at their wedding, at her birthday and with family around them.
It really captured her essence as well. You really
didn't know her, but you
didn't know her, but you get a feel for her through the picture.
So that's important.
So I think probably family, obviously the couple together as well is nice, and then with their children, a lot of weddings I do now they've already got their kids, and and that's why I also my two main packages include a wedding album. So as I say, I started out with a memory stick, or the CDs, and they all corrupt, as we know, and the floppy disks and stuff back in the day, showing my age, but so I find I include an album as part of the course because
an album, so pictures, physical
an album pictures. So after the wedding, and they're really cool ones as well. That one of them, it's housed in a block, which has a perspex cover on it. So it's a photograph in itself. So you don't put them away. Like most wedding albums, like my parents' one and everything else would be up in the loft somewhere. Whereas this is actually on display, and it's got really nice thick pages.
Like a coffee table sort of thing.
Exactly.
It's got a USB.
Well, that's
on the shelf.
So, but we were going to do that.
It's a bit like having ashes. It's
exactly what I was thinking when you said a box. I'm like,
It's just in a box on a shelf. Like, oh.
But it means that their kids can see it as well, because if they're part of the day and that's part of their memory as well. Because I do think having lost a mum, like if you when you lose someone, if you don't talk about your memories when you're growing up, you forget them. And so it's really, I think, you know, if you've got that constantly around, the photographs, for me, my kids, I've got photographs all the way up the stairs that I've taken, so that when they were younger, they were like screaming at me, stomping up the stairs, they would see that we were friends. We had a lovely time.
Oh, yeah. Look how happy you once were.
We had a lovely time there.
A photo is a story, isn't it? It's a memory. You know, what's your fondest memory from a wedding that you photographed?
Oh golly, put me on the spot.
Because you've done thousands, haven't you?
I've done a fair few weddings, certainly. My favourites, gosh, I'm thinking about the after effects of weddings as well. No,
that's my next question.
No, you brought that up.
What's my favourites? Oh gosh, that's really hard to say, Sandra, because I really do love every wedding that I do, and so I really honestly can't say I've got a favourite.
Right.
I mean,
we want to know about the funny ones then.
Oh well, no,
because he was waving at me, so I've got to hurry up apparently.
Well, I won't go to this because I think also what happens. I think it's really important. I like to be like the friend at the wedding.
Yeah,
I think that's the ideal that you want from a photographer, and therefore I don't feel like I can spill any like loads of information about what happens, funny things that happen at weddings, because they might not want those things shared. But
here we go.
I'm trying to think of one that I can tell that won't be.
It doesn't have to be your wedding; it could be somebody else's.
I had one thing that taught me to do the couples photographs very early on was that I had a soldier who his friends got him drinking beer right from the morning breakfast, and I didn't know. And as the day went on, obviously he was getting a bit worse for wear. But I couldn't tell. It was a soldier because they're used to getting things done, you know. And when we were going to do the couple shots, I had done straight after the group shots, I'd done a couple of photographs of them, and I realised then that he was finding it a little bit difficult to stand up. I wasn't sure what was, I wasn't quite sure because I wasn't aware of what was going on. And then they'd had a hog's roast, and unfortunately he couldn't get to it because all of his family, like great Auntie Joan again was like, oh darling, like he was about to get to the food, and she'd be like, oh,
because you don't get to eat.
No, so he didn't get to eat, and that's another thing that I plan speeches, everything with them when I'm doing the itinerary. How do you feel about speeches? Because sometimes they just don't end up, because they're so terrified about their speech. They don't end up eating the food they paid for.
So what's your recommendation on doing that?
Well, in conjunction with the venue, obviously, as well. I personally, and venues will probably curse me across the land, I think it's better to do them before, particularly if you're nervous. If you're like very relaxed, then it's a nice end to sort of round up the day before the evening guests arrive with the speeches after the meal. But I think a lot of people are very nervous about public speaking, and I do think, if the groom's not nervous, or the bride, the dad might be terrified, or the best man, it's just, I just think that all of that's, again, it's about having a really nice day and taking, and often they go, well, can I do that? And it's like, well, you can do whatever you like now, it's not, we don't have those traditions. What you should do is what works for you, like what makes you feel best. So,
I wish I'd done speeches at the beginning, because it wasn't until my son did his speech that I realised he hadn't eaten his food.
Oh, yeah.
And because he was so nervous, shouldn't have been. He'd done the last one, but he was 11 at the time.
He had a practice
run. But he was so nervous about delivering it and making sure that it was okay. So he was. And in his was about delivery, because he started it going, "You really were a dreadful mum."
Oh,
terrible mum. No, not dreadful, terrible mum. And then went into the stories about, our antics together with growing up together and stuff like that. So it was funny, but, but he was so nervous, and bless him, he hadn't eaten his food. So until he'd done his speech, then he ate it, and it was cold, So I think doing it at the beginning would have been.
I think so. I mean, and this groom unfortunately didn't make it to the photos in the evening.
He didn't make it to the photos.
No, he couldn't. He was done.
Oh no.
He couldn't. Yeah. So it was a real shame. But I was glad that I had done the photos.
Yeah.
I haven't ever thought, like at that point, it was a while ago now, how important it was just to get a few in the bag in case it all goes to hell. And I do say that now in the talk, like we're going to do this in case it all goes to hell.
I think couples are very surprised of how quick the wheels can come off. And I've heard, you know, one of my brides didn't actually make it to the evening ceremony.
Really?
Yeah.
What? Why?
Because I think she wrote in and gave us a story. I can't remember the story, but it was the drinking in the morning.
Yeah,
you know, they're getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning.
And it's always that prosecco.
And then people are handing you drinks and stuff like that. I particularly didn't drink.
You don't eat that much because you're busy talking.
Exactly.
Your adrenaline's pumping.
You're tired.
We got up really early. Like one of the brides
early.
that was another bride that was a bit poorly on the day and she'd been up like since 4 a.m. decorating the venue. So always get someone to decorate.
Well, again, these are
worth their weight in gold.
These are things that you don't think about until afterwards, and you know, watch out for what time you're booking your ceremony. You know, because if you're booking it early doors, you are getting up very early doors. We're not even going to bed. And if you're doing, you know, you've got stuff to do, then again, that's on top. So sometimes getting somebody else to do it for you. Okay, you can plan it all, but getting somebody to actually set it up for you.
I think. I mean, I will. Their way. It's always the way, isn't it? Until you do something like you say, not necessarily having a photographer because you think other people will take those photographs for you. It's not until you do it that you realise, and it's the same. I would say, having watched lots of couples have like really get up so early and they're so tired by the wedding day because they've spent the day decorating,
exhausted.
Exactly.
They come put the dresses up and they went, "We're done." I just want to get there and do it. You know, I had a lovely bride in yesterday picking up her dress, and I'm excited. She went, "We had a whole rehearsal last night. We cannot stop laughing at each other." She said, "He sets me off," and I went, "That's fantastic." She said, "Are you sure?"
That makes for a good one.
I said, "No." I said, "That's natural." You know, because you like that normally. She went, "Yeah," and I said, "There you go. Go with it."
You know, I love going to the rehearsals. If I can. Obviously, I can't necessarily sometimes. So I've got back-to-back weddings. If I can, because actually you do get to see, like, you get to see a load of the family as well, so they get used to you, and then you also get to see them, you know, like the bit. So when they're like, so if they start laughing during the ceremony, you now know why, because something happened the night before when they're doing rehearsal and stuff, and all of those things like really add to the story.
Is that a thing then, when you can actually have like a photographer to do your rehearsal?
Well, no, I actually only go just to watch. I don't take any photographs because that would add on. Editing's like 2 hours on, you know, for every hour you shoot.
Oh, I have it. Before we go on to other things, how soon do you get your photographs out?
Well, you get to the couple. So within 24 hours, I get them a sneak peek of about 20. And then it depends actually. Again, it depends on the season, but I try and get them out within a month. Because
so exciting.
And what are your thoughts on photographs not coming out for 6 months?
It's really hard because I do know, like, I'm in lots of photography groups and I know how much pressure. Some people are shooting way more than me. So, you know, 40, 60 weddings a year. And so they're doing back to back. And so it's like physically, if you can imagine, you know, you shoot a 12-day wedding day on Friday and Saturday, and then possibly Sunday.
And probably Thursday now.
Thursdays as well. I'm doing one Thursday coming up this December. And you know, when are you going to edit?
Get time
to do it.
You've
got to keep hold of those cards to make sure, you know, that they're safe and, you know, and everything else. And you've got to upload them, and editing is...
But as long as couples
takes so much longer than the actual shooting.
But I think if photographers told their couples up front that, you know, you deliver from wedding to delivery is this, and I'm going to get you some sneak peeks. That's all they want to know. See,
they just want that one where they can go on social media. We are now Mr. and Mrs. and what a wonderful day. Thank you.
And so I think that's how most photographers try and work now, is to try, even if it's just like a couple of photographs, to turn around. But it's quite, you know, you still have to load all those cards up. You know, some photographers shoot thousands and thousands of photos in order to get those, you know, that, you know, brilliant look. So they've got to load all those up, and then they've got to go through them to find those few ones that are sort of like look the best.
It seems really, like an easy job for us, but I
know it's awful because I really do see it from the other perspective. Like, it's awful to wait, you know, so long, and also then you can get anxious worrying if you're actually going to get them at all.
Yeah.
Which, you know, we've heard those stories. So I think, you know,
these wedding groups are not great because they're going, he's done a runner and stuff like that. So they start panicking. Don't they?
I know, it's so bad. This is about due diligence.
Tom, do we have time for some listeners' questions? Yeah, a thumbs up. He's my favourite. This one, you know. There we go. Here we go. Yeah. I can do five questions. Yes, five. You heard that? 5 questions. Do you want to go first?
Okay.
God, what have I got here?
So this one says, the couple who don't agree with each other. During planning, the couple argue or disagree in front of suppliers. How should suppliers navigate this? And what's the best way to bring the focus back to their shared vision?
This is it's our question and answer. That's quite tough, isn't it?
Yeah.
They have different ideas. How can the supplier mediate between them?
So I think obviously it's really important to have both the couple there because people feel differently about stuff. So so I think it's really healthy to have that discussion because I've done so many weddings, I think I do sort of discuss the pros and cons of what they're saying. Right. Because, you know, some things do, you know, like we're saying, like you might be over like speeches first or, you know, anything like that, that I can say what the pros and cons to that are. So I think I let them, I don't know, it's awkward, isn't it? They're having a round, you think, this is going to work out well. But
I'll give it 3 months. What have you got?
I've got the social media problem. Now we all will see signs around about this. A friend posts photos before the couple wants them shared. How do couples set expectations? Should couples create no posting or unplugged wedding guideline? What are your thoughts on that? I think they should. It's your wedding. It belongs to you. You should say, sorry, I feel quite passionate about this, obviously.
Yeah. Well, I've had it recently, and something similar to this came up on Monday. I don't know whether you're with me or not, but
I probably was with you.
It's all blurred. But I've just recently had an album shared to me of a couple's wedding of the bride I've done by the photographer. Oh. And which is quite normal. It's like, please tag me in, you know, feel free to put them out and blah, blah, you know, and it's good networking, right? So I've done a lovely reel and then I've scheduled it. So then it's gone out at like 10 o'clock at night. I'm snoring, you know, got my curlers in and off I go. So the next morning I've woken up to a message from the bride and the groom going, thank you so much for that reel. We absolutely love it. But could you take it off the grid? Because we've not shared ours with the family and friends yet.
Oh, that's awkward.
So that was really awkward. I was so upset for them. That was a valuable lesson. So I should have actually asked that photographer and said, do you have permission from the bride? But you don't think.
No, I share the itinerary with a couple. Yeah. And then I say, is it now okay? Because I have it on the questionnaire. If they're happy for it to be shared with suppliers. And then I send the link to suppliers. Yeah. And then I get the suppliers to choose the ones they want. Yeah. It's like a really easy system. Yeah. And then I send it back to the couple to say, these are the ones selected. Are you okay? Because sometimes people forget, like I had one where the kids weren't supposed to be in any social media anyway. Yeah. And so that gives it a double check back.
Didn't think about that. The kids.
Yeah, because there's lots of like parents go.
Yeah, that's such a good point.
Right, why is my child on?
Yeah, no, I didn't even think about that.
That's a big thing now.
Okay, yeah.
But what if a friend shares a picture of the wedding like before?
And they do.
I think that's what I thought when I originally.
So a lot of the weddings I do, they have like signs up, and they also get the registrar to announce it as well.
But they don't listen. I had it in my we have it in my shop where we don't allow photos until they've bought, and they're like and they're like this, and we can see it, or they're on Zoom, and they're like, you know, but also they're not doing the bride any good because they've got all 17 of her chins in.
Awful angles, yes, I often get that. I always get the pictures,
you know, and because they don't like being told what to do. But if the bride and groom are telling
get like this,
you,
they go,
the fact. Have you been to my shop?
No, but I went wedding dress shopping with my friend, and like I think
we don't like being told what to do or told off either. No one likes being told off. But But
that's I don't. I think that is really upsetting because that is your photos. So I
Your
think-
time.
Yeah, it is. It's-
And
it's
after the
your
wedding, the
day.
blues set in big time, right? And this is another perk up, isn't it?
Yes.
To do
It
it
is,
yourself
yeah.
and get all the accolades going, oh my God, you
Yeah.
looked amazing. We had such a great time,
I found someone to marry me. Sorry. That was,
At you again?
What? Me?
What? Am I being unreasonable by not wanting to invite half of his family, as the only time we ever see them is at funerals? And the same question from the same person. Am I being unreasonable for telling my partner I don't want a certain friend there? He's an absolute wasp.
Wasp. That's such a great
Wasp, yeah, that's a really
Yeah.
visual image of that.
Yeah.
person, hey?
Such a wasp.
Such a wasp.
Oh gosh, that's difficult.
The thing is, it's a family gathering,
Yeah.
and we talked about 4 weddings and a funeral, and that, like, here we go again, right? Is it a wedding?
Yeah.
Is it a funeral? And that's it, isn't it? And it is, what if one of them dies that year? You've got nothing of them.
And I do think I think we've at the moment we seem to be going through a bit of a stage, don't we, of not being very tolerant of people
Yeah.
and
I
putting
feel
and people thinking we've gone from wanting people to understand us and our point of view to like demanding that
Yeah.
is what happens and
Yeah.
that we have the right to just dictate everything. I think when you're getting married, there's like a bit of give and take, and what's important to your partner
Yeah.
for the day should be important. You
Yeah.
know, if there's a cost aspect, that's
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got tons of family and cousins, but we wanted all of my husband's cousins and family in there and mine as well. But I think, I think you have them. And
I think you invite them.
Yeah, I do.
And think it's the presents.
and you won't notice them really.
That will help.
with the people there.
Yeah.
You won't actually really.
No.
They won't impact your day.
No, and actually, sometimes the more the numbers, the less time is spent having to talk to people, because it's like on a length of time, because it is quite full on. So if you're having to spend 15 minutes talking to Auntie Jill about, Auntie Mabel and what she did last summer, then if you can then go, it's lovely to see you.
Yeah.
I've just got to go.
Yeah.
And you'll
also,
repeat.
you can only control what your reaction to anything is, really, can't you? Really, and if you've got no, you can have them there, and you've got no time for them. Just let them.
Yeah, let them.
Just let them.
Let them be.
Let them, as an
And what about the wasp? Sorry, the friend.
It depends on how good a friend it is.
Yeah.
It's your partner. I think if it's a friend, it's their day too.
Yeah.
So they want their friend there, and that will break the friendship.
Is it really their day?
There's always that one friend where you're just like, oh.
But it will break the friendship. I mean,
Yeah,
these
it
are
will.
things that if you say no, if you say you're not invited, then that's it. It's the end of the friendship, and that's. I don't. Yeah.
And you have to think about the bigger picture, because this is his friend and this is his safety net. This is probably a person that he can go to and talk to about stuff. You've got your friends and stuff like that does that, and you probably don't understand his friendship.
Yeah.
But and men and women have different kinds of friendships.
Exactly, and it probably, that friend represents a certain part of his life. He may not be that person he was when he knew that friend back then, but there is an important part of his life, maybe at university or when he went on a ski season or something. There's always that one person that was probably a bit left of friends who he should be friends with, but who represents that time in their life. So sometimes it can be quite important to have those people
I
there.
think that he's invited and you get a big brownie point.
Yeah.
And you can save that favour for next time.
Yes.
When you're in trouble and you need it.
Or a large bottle of Whispering Angel or something.
Yeah. On that note, we need to say goodbye because he was frantically waving. We've gone way over time. Into this camera, where can we all find you?
I've got my website, Berties Photography. That's BERTIS. And Instagram, same thing, and Facebook. I'm not really doing TikTok at the moment, but I think I'll probably have a go. And that's it. Yeah, my website's about to be redone. So yeah.
Fantastic. Brilliant. And where can we find you?
Find me at Lizzie, LIZZIE _hosts, or Bougie Music Live, all across all of the social media platforms.
And on my podcast regularly.
You'll see it.
Honestly, I can't thank you enough.
Oh, no, it's okay.
What are you doing tomorrow?
Probably coming
No,
here.
joking. Again, thank you so much. I am so grateful. Every single week you show up, you send us messages. Just if you can do me a favour, keep liking and putting comments on the YouTube platform as well. It just helps me understand who you are actually, and I'd like to get to know you more if that's okay. And I'll see you all again next week. Oh gosh, and if you want a wedding dress, come and see us at Love Me Do Brides, and we'll see you again next week. Bye.